Hi PUBG Sports fans, I'm your PUBG Sports guide Annie and I'm here again with Paperthin.
Great to be back. Can't wait to get PGC started again this year in Malaysia. I am so excited for it.
So as you said, we're here to talk about PGC 2 in 2024. Before moving into the PGS 2024, let's wrap up how PUBG Sports was in 2024 so far. And the first global event, PGS 3, was held in Shanghai. And finally, the APEC champion rise, Cerberus Esports. In the PGS 4, Twisted Minds finally leave their trophy in the global event.
And then, of course, after that, we had the Esports World Cup for the first time in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where the Sonics took home the trophy. And then we moved back to South Korea for PUBG Nations Cup, where Korea was able to win back-to-back championships in front of the home crowd.
And the next event was PGS 5 and 6, and here we witnessed very surprising thing that Twisted Minds have won 2 consecutive championship. So having all these stories in 2024 so far, I'm really excited to move on to PGC 2024, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so let's move on to the PGC 2024 in details. So PUBG Global Championship 2024 will be held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia from December 9th to December 22nd. And 24 teams have secured their tickets to PGC 2024 based on PGC points and PGS points. And they will be competing for 1.5 million prize pool and the PGC 2024 trophy. PGC 2024 will be based on Super Rule Set with map Erangel, Miramar, Tego, and Rondo. But we do have a special system called circuit system before the grand finals.
So the circuit system is pretty intriguing. We're gonna break it into 3 different circuits, and each circuit is gonna be broken down into 3 different days. So the first day is 16 teams. The 15 teams that qualified through PGC points, and then the 1 team from the host country, in this case SGD from Malaysia. So then on day 2, it's going to be the 12 teams from the previous day plus the 5th to 8th place teams in PGS points throughout the year. Those teams are going to battle it out. Then the top 12 teams move on to the circuit finals. That's going to be day 3, where the top 4 teams will be automatically seeded from PGS points to face off. And this is the day where you can make your points to qualify for the grand finals.
Then how will circuit 2 and 3 look like?
They'll look very similar, actually. So you're gonna take the bottom 16 teams from the previous week, put them onto day 1, and then we just kind of rinse and repeat.
So let's move on to the details about 24 teams participating in PUBG Global Championship 2024. So let's first talk about the PGS points. Teams have accumulated points based on their performances in PGS 3, 4, 5, 6, and the Esports World Cup. And the first place went to Twisted Minds with no surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the best team in the world right now. They've won back-to-back-to-back titles in PGS. This is a team that has tremendous firepower, big brains, obviously it goes along with their name. Example's the best player in the world right now. He can do everything well, whether it's rifling, his sniping, everything about his game is top tier. This is going to be the favorite coming into this event.
I've always mentioned that Twisted Minds this squad have been most consistent in PUBG esports scene, and winning back-to-back championship have never happened in PUBG esports history. So second place is Sonics. I'm sure that this team is a big game hunter.
This is a team that always shows up when it matters most. They show up when the prize pool is the biggest. That's just the truth. They've won PGIS, they won PGS2 last year, they won EWC this year. They're a very consistent team when they want to be. You already had Shrimsy and Tiggleton, who have been absolutely lights out at times for this squad. H1's always been a really solid IGL, and Kickstart just gives that extra oomph that the Sonics needs to continue to be a force at global event, and they are absolutely going to be a threat at PGC.
So PG's top 3 team was Cerberus Esports from Vietnam.
So this used to be an underdog region in APAC, right? And then Cerberus at the beginning of this year really showed that they are a force to be reckoned with. They can win events, and they did that. They win PGS3. Hemos is absolutely one of the best players in the world right now. They always play crazy. He's got enormous potential as an individual player. He can clutch out moments that very few other players can. So I think this team can absolutely still win PGC.
The top 4 goes to 17 Gaming from China, and this team I think has the most second places in PUBG esports.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good team. This core won a PGS last year. They won PGS 1. There's still so much potential getting 2 seconds in Thailand, but we know the potential of this team. We know how well they can frag out. Top to bottom, this team is very well balanced. They're all really strong individual players. So I still have a lot of hope that they can win a title.
So top 5 is TSM. They have not been performing well in PGS 3, but after, they have been performing very consistently throughout the events, and Sparking even won MVP in WC.
Yeah, this is a team that is really starting to come together, find their form. We know that Alo, Luke 12, and Sparking are all tremendous individually talented players. Sparking, one of the best mechanical players in the world. It would be really awesome to see TSM get that PGC trophy.
Next is Navi.
For me, this is like the wild card team here because we've seen that at their peak, they can be one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, in their plays, they have shown, especially from Hakatoi's clutch and everything, they do have a really big potential. So let's see if Navi can show their peak performance in PGC 2024. So next, top 7 is Patrico Road from China.
So this is a team that's had some ups and downs, regionally and internationally. This team is very capable, but you need to find ways to enable Aches Left, get your star player firing on all cylinders, and come out, getting a ton of kills.
So looking at the PGC 2024 roster, maybe Summer will be IGLing again, we don't know, but let's see how they can come back in PGC 2024. Last but not least is FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan already got their ticket to PGC based on PGC points in EMEA, but to be in the better spot in the circuit system of PGC 2024, they had to accumulate points, PGS points. They actually came in as a PGS point seed.
Look, this is one of the most veteran teams we have right now. All of these players have been around the block. Good play of players like Jeems, like Vex, Corexy, all these guys are incredible.
So we've talked about top 8 teams from PGS points, and let's move on to the rest 16 teams who have accumulated their PGC points in their regional series. And let's start with the EMEA region first.
So the first team I think we should look at is Eternal Fire. They've been relatively consistent when they make it to the global events. They got 6th at EWC. They had that really explosive game at PGS 5 where they got 20 kills and a chicken dinner. You expect to see them at the very least in the grand finals.
BB team is also new team. The name is new, but the players are quite familiar.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically the core of the old question mark team, led by a doozy. They're a very, very strong team. Now they're bringing in Spyro from Twisted Minds, and he is a very, very strong fragger too, so certainly BB team they're going to be scary.
So last was Virtus Pro. Actually, they couldn't make it to the PGC before PGS 6 started, but thanks to FaZe Clan, they had the last spot, the EMEA region.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ibiza is a very long time player, one of the most popular players in PUBG esports, just due to who he is as a streamer and also as a player. Getting to see him back at an international event is super cool.
So next is Americas region. Here we have 2 teams.
I think Falcons is a team that everybody thinks should be doing better than they are. There is a lot of talent on this team. There's a lot of experience that if they can find their right form, they can do a lot of damage. Luna Galaxy, this Brazilian team, the old Legacy squad, well, the core of it mostly. Z-Kraken has looked really good at times this year. He's had some strong performances, but we haven't seen a lot of consistency. They struggle in the early part of the game. What can this Luna Galaxy team do to recover and have better performances at PGC 2024?
Next is China, and the first team is Tianba.
Yeah, Tianba is a really solid team. They have shown really good performances at times internationally. Lin Shu, a great IGL, great fragger. Can he, with the addition of CC108, really bring this team to greater heights?
So next is NH Esports, which we call New Happy. So New Happy not only performed well in PCL, but also shown impressive performances in recent PGSs. I think they're still a good team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you still have Ming Ming there, who's absolutely cracked, one of the best mechanical players in the world. But with Xiaozi and AZ coming into this squad, are they going to be able to continue to improve on those performances we saw?
Next is Weibo Gaming. We have Shen in this team.
Yeah, Shen is cracked. There's no other way to put it. He is a really, really talented player. ZYY also a very good player. So that team has a lot of potential. They could really, really surprise at PGC.
Next, 4 Angry Men, our old beloved team from China. And I saw that Godfrey is coming in the roster for PGC 2024.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a gamble with Godfrey. World champions on this team, quite literally, former NH players. So are they going to be able to use that experience, find some cohesion? But it has been a rough year for them, to be honest.
So China is the region where teams with PGS points and PGC points are quite divided. So let's see these teams who have performed well in their region also plays well in the global level. Next is Korea, which is the region with the previous PGC 2023 champion. But this year, they only have 3 teams based on PGC points, not having a single team advancing with the PGS points.
Yeah, it's been a rough year. There's been a lot of roster changes throughout Korea. The Kwangdong Freaks probably have been the most consistent for Korea throughout 2024, but it still hasn't been great. Yes, you've got great fraggers on that team. Salute is the first one that comes to your mind. He was on Danawa last year, has a trophy, and he's been good. The whole team's been good, but they haven't been great. So we need to see some, better performances from them on the international stage.
Next, T1. T1 was out of PUBG esports scene for a while, but they have created a team this year and participated in PUBG esports.
Yeah, so it's the old BSG roster, plus you bring in Type. He's fragging very well for them. They're still seemingly trying to get all on the same page and trying to adapt to the international lobbies.
So last could be Gen G with top 3 in the player PGC points. They were struggling a little bit in this year, but they did show a great performance in the last event, PGS 6.
Yeah, so it finally started to come together towards the end of the year here. The beginning of the year as well, they looked really, really strong in PWS. You have Barpo, who was one of the best fraggers in PWS in 2023. Adder, a veteran player. So Rex as well, those two have played together. But it hasn't been consistent. And the real question is what we saw at the end of PGS 6, is that going to be the Gen G that shows up at PGC?
Last but not least is APAC region.
I want to start with the Expendables. They're the team that kind of ended 17's hopes of winning PGS 5. Who knows what they're going to do at their peak? They could be really, really good.
Next is Daytrade Gaming. This Thailand team have been in the top, but recently they seem to struggle a bit. But in PGS 6, they have shown.
They finally found their confidence. I think they just needed to start taking good fights, finding their opportunities. Hopefully they can really push the envelope and show us like a top 8 finish or even better.
So next coming up is Bleed Esports from Indonesia.
They're solid players. A lot of them have been around for quite some time in PUBG esports, but they haven't really blown the doors off of us this year. So seeing if maybe they can improve on some of that, come into PGC with some new strategies, some new ideas, and who knows, maybe they're going to make grand finals. There's enough talent there for sure.
Who had qualified as a wild card, Host City Seed, our Malaysian team, Schweiger Dui.
If you ever watched PCS Asia, you're going to be familiar with a lot of these players. You have MML, who used to be Tian Tian, who was on Tianba. You have Mings, who was also on Tianba and Petrichor Road at one point. Then you have Jervis and Payne used to be Sophia. That's a player that a lot of people know. They're pretty stacked.
So we've looked through all the 24 teams participating in PGC 2024. And we also have to focus on each player. Who do you think have a potential to win the MVP?
I think everybody's going to think of Example first. Guy is absolutely insane. In particular, his DMR has been really, really on point this year. He's got a well-balanced play style as well. He can get it done. So he has everything you could want out of a star player.
Next MVP candidate, I think it could be a Cerberus Esports Himas.
Him and Example are number 1 and 2 in the world right now. There is no question about that. Everybody thinks that. They are amazing. But there's a little bit different. Himas is probably a little bit better with assault rifles. He's really good in those clutch situations and those 1vx scenarios. So that's probably where you'd maybe give him a little bit of an edge. But it's hard to compare because they're both so darn good. Shrimzy from Sonics, he kind of plays more of a backline role. He's so good with the AUG, so he could be your MVP. Sparking is another one of those just amazing all-around players. Great mechanics in every regard, DMR or AR. And he's also got just great reactions. It's hard to pick with 17 because there's so many good players on that team. Lil Go, Xiao Wu, Xiao Bei. Any 3 of those guys could actually win an MVP. However, I think we should look at Petrichor Road. They do have a really good performance this year at EWC, and Akesleft is a big part of that. So if they pop off at PGC, it could actually be Akesleft.
Today we have been talking about the participating teams, things to watch for in the PGC 2024. I want to explain more about some action and activities that we can enjoy for PGC 2024. First is always Pick'em Challenge. PGC 2024 item is out. How do you think?
I love it. It's got this like futuristic soldier feel. It's quite different from some of the other skins we've had for previous events. So I think these are really, really cool.
Yeah, so if you buy this PGC 2024 items, you can get a voting coupons and participate in Pick the Winner Pick'em Challenge. You can vote until December 20th, 5 p.m. KST. Look at the circuit stage. So don't forget to watch the full circuit system and guess the winner and get this cool EP items too. Also, they have a free challenge, Team Face Off, so please check in game. And this is our pick for the Pick'em Challenge.
And of course, we also have the Twire Fantasy. It really makes watching PUBG sports a lot more fun.
We also have a drops event. You can earn items by watching live stream of PGC 2024 based on your watch time.
And I also heard that there's another exciting thing to look forward to at PGC 2024. There's going to be a pre-event match before the official event starts.
Yes, we're gonna have a pre-event match on December 8th in 1 p.m. Malaysian time in the brand new Sanok where things are destructible. So I think it's gonna be really exciting pre-event match. But here, 48 players will be participating, so 2 players from each team. And there will be 4 matches, and there will also be 10,000 prize pool. So don't miss out this pre-event match too. From the beginning, we have been talking about everything we have to know to better enjoy PUBG Global Championship 2024. How was it today?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I'm really excited for PGC again. I can't wait to go back to Malaysia. It's a beautiful country. Really amazing stuff that we're going to see from these players and these teams there as always. So I can't wait for it to start.
We'll have an audience in the grand finals, so you can enjoy the grand final and a lot of offline activities. Please check out the ticket information that will be announced in the PUBGsports.com. And not only that, please enjoy our online activities too. So stay tuned for PUBG Global Championship 2024, which is kicking off in Malaysia on December 9th, and check out which team will be lifting the trophy at the end. We'll meet you in Malaysia. Bye-bye!